John, can we start with the usual? How long's the injury list for this weekend?
How long have you got?
As long as you've got.
You know, the long-term ones aren't going to change overnight. One or two bumps and bruises that we're hoping will have settled down. So we're hoping to have Harvey, Tommy Lee and Doug all fit for Saturday. So, you know, you can get a bit down and depressed about the injuries, but you've got to be philosophical. It's an occupational hazard in football. And some days, some seasons you get loads, others you get minimal. You can't predict how it's going to happen. You're always trying to alter your training sessions or look at your prehab and your preconditioning to try and negate the chances of injury. But at the end of the day, you can get a pull just by running for the bus. So, you know, what we've got to do is concentrate on the lads who are fit and concentrate on trying to get a tune out of them and results out of them.
Have you known anything like it really at the start of a season for quite a while?
I've had it a couple of times, but not to this extent, and not as many as being injury specific. I can never ever remember myself and Jimmy being here for 21 years combined. I can never remember not having a fit recognised striker in the squad. Obviously we've signed Nathan, so that might negate that, but that's been very unusual.
How much expectation is on Nathan with that?
We won't be piling any expectation on him. You know, it's a deal that's good for both parties, and hopefully each can help each other. You know, so he can have his performance on the pitch, and we can try and kickstart his career again.
Just in terms of last weekend, was there a sense of relief that you got over the line and won?
Very much so. Danny will tell you about the shoes getting kicked off when the feelers are about 4 sizes too small for you. And I think the way we ended up playing the last 10 minutes showed that we were desperate to win the game for one, but that we felt that we needed to win the game. And I think you've got to see that in a football team. You know, I've watched Premiership games over the weekend where teams are desperate for points because they're near the bottom of the table and they look like pre-season friendlies or testimonials. I don't think you'll ever have that if you come and watch Accrington.
Yeah, when that whistle went, you've been in management a long, long time, John. Did it feel as good as any
yeah,
you've had?
The thrill's always there when you get a win, and especially when you feel as though you're hanging on. The perception is that you're hanging on because there's a lot of balls going into your box. I think actually he only has 1 or 2 shots on target. So, but the perception's always there, and you feel that. And you know, Accrington, if you're winning 1-0, you very rarely have to see 3 minutes out. You normally have to see 7, 8, 9. So, thankfully we did it.
Just on League One in general, I've heard managers and players already this season say they believe it's a stronger division. Do you?
Yeah. I mean, it's been strong for since we've been in there, I'd have to say. But what you've got now is you've got big ex-Premiership teams, a lot of expectation on them, a lot of money being spent, trying to stockpile the best players, and possibly I can't speak for other people's intentions, but it possibly could be just to keep them off other people or keep them off other teams. You know, there's about 3 or 4 clubs in our league who've got 5 or 6 top strikers, top recognised strikers, and they're not coming cheap, and only 2 of them can play, or 3 at a push. But so good luck to them if they can afford to do that. And that's what probably is making the league strong. People are prepared to spend the money and get proven quality in.
I've just spoken to Sean McConville. He's preparing for 400 appearances for Accrington Stanley. Just sum up for us how big an achievement that is, particularly that you've been a Football League club through it.
Unbelievable. You know, few and far between these days that players play that long for one club. People are always looking to be on the move. I think everybody knows Sean's affinity to the club, and to me and Jimmy as well, and to the fans. And you know, the one thing you can say about Sean, he mightn't play well every week. He's done well this season. It's remarkable the way he's come back from an Achilles operation. You know, that ruptured Achilles at his age could have finished off most people, but that shows the drive he's got and the willingness to battle through that and get himself fit. He started to contribute important goals for us, which is massive. But you know, he leaves everything else onto the pitch. You know, he crawls off the pitch most weeks because he gives us all. Had to play left wing back, which, you know, as an attacking player, you don't really want to be defending. I think he played left back during the night as well, so, and he has played left back in the league for us. So players like that, his experience, his leadership qualities, they're invaluable to a club like us. And you look at him and Seamus Keneally, the amount of games they've racked up. You know, you know that eventually it's going to have to come to an end, and it'll be a big hole to fill.
Do you see him making to 500 with the way he looks after himself?
Well, he's got a 2-year deal, so I know Sean wants to play every game, so that gets you another 70 before you get out of bed, doesn't it? So.
Yeah. He's actually mentioned working here when Eric Worley was here. It's that long ago, John, that Sean came and he talked to us about being a young dad and not being paid on time and things like that. How much this club has moved on.
Oh, it has, you know, but without them hard times, we couldn't be here now. You know, it was a struggle to survive, but we did survive, and that's not down to just the playing staff and the coaching staff. That's down to a lot of hard work behind the scenes. You know, people working for nothing, people putting money in to help out to get us out of holes, to pay taxmen. So a lot of hard work's gone into where we are today, and that should never ever be forgotten.
What do you make of Bristol Rovers? It's perhaps not been the start that they were expecting. Is it a big jump, do you think?
Well, I think Bristol Rovers have suffered the same as us. They've been decimated by injuries, particularly to the defence. And they've assembled a decent squad there, and when they get their players out there, they're a handful for any team in this league. Good attacking players, capable of scoring goals. And we're expecting a really tough game, Saturday.
Yeah, what are they good at, John?
Well, you know, Joey's had experience in this league before, so he knows the game as well. You know, obviously he's played at the highest level. And he's assembled good players. He's got good players in. And they're good at taking the games here. So you don't get many games when they don't score, which is testament to how well they attack. And what we've got to do is we've got to try and get our style of football onto the pitch. Now, people might say, "Oh, you've gone a bit more physical lately." I don't really see that. The minute you introduce a long throw into the game, everyone thinks you're a long ball team. And to be honest, if you look at the game the other night, I think he only threw 2 balls into. So that's not always the case, but we've got to try and stamp our authority onto the game. We've generally been all right away this season. I know we lost to Forest Green and we lost to Wickham. Both by the odd goal. Both games we had the lion's share of possession in both games. And we had the lion's share of chances in both games and shots. So he needs a little bit of luck and fuzzy. And, you know, both our clubs, you can say both managers, haven't had any luck on the injury front. And that game, you know, was both teams will earmark it as a chance to give themselves a lift into the table. So it's going to be a really tough game.